Yo, yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to Pulse Point. I'm trying to get to a live chat that's happening right now. And, right here. Here it is. I hope that I can pick it
You
up.
know, is it because we don't want it to be true that we deny
Hold
the
on one
other
moment.
obvious facts? Um, but I don't know. I don't know.
Might
Let's
have to
go to a
have that
woman
on.
now.
There it is.
Yeah, and I will say before you do that, I think most of the people in this room actively supported Trump in the last
100%.
election.
My
You know,
entire
and
following consists of mostly Trump
yeah,
supporters.
yeah, I was out there. I
So
I
this
moved
is
now, but I was in Pennsylvania at the time
Spaces.
doing Libertarians for Trump, going on college campuses and things. So it's not as though look. My last appeal on the last space was, to the Justice Department. Come on, do the right thing. I know you can do the right thing, but the wrong thing is to say there's nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's what that's what we're being told. It's so ridiculous. Let's go to Noxie. Go ahead, Noxie. Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Diligent, for having me. And I just wanted to compliment Isaiah. Like that was like your rebuttal to Charlie was
Hold on.
out of
I
the
hope you
park.
guys can
Great
hear it.
job. Really appreciate that. And I was really surprised to see Massey coming in here today. I am a huge Massey fan, and my jaw hit the floor.
Yo, yo, yo.
And I'm noticing though kind of a pattern between Trump
I
going
just want
after
to, I just want
him and
to, I just want to alert you though, since you said that. I know that if you end up hooking up with Massey as a result of MySpace, there is a $50 service fee, and so I just wanted to let you know about that. Thank you.
well, he did follow me before your space, so no, not gonna happen. But I noticed how the attacks started on him, and now the attacks are moving to us. And I'm just, if we like somebody else had said it earlier, if we had all of Massey's in
Yeah,
there,
okay.
like Trump would
There.
have everything that he wanted. I think they brought it up with Thune, or I think that's who they compared him with. And so it's like his voting record speaks for itself. Like, I mean, on the Liberty poll or whatever it is, he actually scores higher than anybody. He scored over 100% on his voting record. And we want more people like that. It's the swamp that we're trying to fight. It's the swamp we're still trying to fight. And anybody who's trying to fight the swamp, Trump is attacking. And as a three-time Trump supporter and somebody who supported him for a long time, it's very confusing for all of us. And I've said it many times. I'm like, is this a black pill? Like, I'm trying not to swallow it, but I'm literally gagging on it every single day. I don't like this. Okay, I don't like this. But this one is, I can't back off of it. I can't just keep going and ignore it and act like, oh, well, look at everything else, because it's all compiling and it's like snowballing in the completely opposite direction of what I had hoped it would be and what he actually campaigned on from 2016 whenever he won then.
Sorry, guys. I just had to make sure it was working. I've been having some issues. Sorry. Got a phlegm in my throat. So basically, they're talking about Trump right now and the Epstein thing, and it's not just that. It's like it's falling apart quick, and I don't know what to do or say myself. Honestly, and I didn't think it would come apart this fast. So
Me goosebumps
let's
right now,
listen
like
and see
that
what's
that
going on.
feeling. that we had, right? Just to see it buckle now, like what has the ability to make a man of that stature cower? It's a really good question because that's what we're observing. Something to think about.
And that's the scariest part about it. We all knew that this was a man that would never submit to anybody, that he had his principles and he was standing on it, and he was fighting the fake news, and he was fighting the swamp, and he was fighting the deep state, and he wanted to expose it all. And whenever we look at what he's saying and we're like, no, this isn't right. Like you've completely flip-flopped, and why have you done this? That is the hardest thing for me, because it's like, and I think
Hardest
the
thing for
ultimate
me,
black
too.
pill is if it's not Trump, if Trump can't even do it, as strong of a backbone and as strong of a spine as we believed that he had, if he can't do this, then who possibly can? And it reminds me of what Chuck Schumer said about that there's a million ways that the CIA can get you, or the deep state can get you. And what are we really fighting? And that makes me want to fight even more, because if it is that bad and that corrupt, this is something we can't
Because it's
stand
not a
down on.
republic if that's the case. We don't live in a democracy. We don't live in a republic. It is something else entirely. And
We
I think
don't.
right now is about when
We
we
don't
need
live in a
to
democracy or a
come to
republic. It's
the
supposed to
terms
be a
with that
constitutional
fact.
republic.
Let's go to Ultra.
But
Go ahead,
we
Ultra.
do not
Welcome to the
live in
stage.
that anymore. That has been gone for a very
Thank
long
you.
time.
Is it okay?
You sound good.
Do
You're
I sound
great.
all right?
You're magnificent. I will definitely let you know. You don't need to
Thank you.
ask. I am right on top of it.
Okay, thank you. Hey, I'm just here to let everybody know Diligent's been MAGA all the way. You called on me, Diligent, right when Trump was shot. I was in your space. And everything went black and everything went down. So yeah, he's been fighting, and I've been there following him, and I know exactly what's been going on with him so far with his spaces. So, and Isaiah, thank you. And thank you for everything you've done for us. And thank you, Dilly, for having the space, because the kids are so important, people. I cannot believe if anybody's being harassed about saying we got to go on. No, we don't. Kids are our future. Hello. Who do you think is going to be helping us later in life?
Right.
The kids.
I
They
agree.
become adults. And then the adults.
If we don't look out for them now, they're not going to look out
really
for us.
bad.
Why would they?
I thank you, Diligent, for letting me talk, and I'll let other people talk.
Why
Thank you
would
so
they?
What
much.
did you think
I
about President
appreciate the
Trump's
space.
post this morning? Did you read it?
I personally.
Yeah, I did. And, you know, he just stabbing. To me, it's like stabbing me in the heart even more.
Yeah.
Supporter since 2016. It's mind-blowing. And I can't wait. There's another person I know, and I haven't talked to her yet, and I'm curious what all these people that I do talk to really think about all this, because it just more and more and more. And
in
I'm
a
just
bad
waiting.
situation
I'm
here.
not what he's done some terrific things, but I feel like he's stepping all over the children. I don't understand.
It's really sad to see.
Somebody got to him.
Um,
That's what I
Yeah.
think. Somebody got to him. Somebody said something. The CIA. Somebody got
It's
to him and said,
and
"Look, you
and
release
you
this,
to have a
and we will
space
end
open
you
for
along
us to
with it."
talk about it is a wonderful
I
thing,
feel.
and I thank you for it.
thank you.
I really
And I
do.
really appreciate your support. It means a lot to know that you're not alone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yep. Anytime. All right, let's go to Nikki.
Hello, Diligent.
Have you noticed I'm giving the women priority?
You want
I
to
don't
follow me
always
on
do
Twitter?
that.
Right here.
Go ahead.
Sundown.
We
Blue
love
check
you
mark.
for that.
That's how you'll know
We
it's me.
appreciate that you see us. That's crazy. Especially, I know sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. I'm taking a little bit different side, a side route to this for a moment. And, because I think we all kind of want answers, right? Like, why are they not doing what they, if they want to release information, why aren't they releasing it? So here's my take on this. And if Crypto Lawyer is still on stage, I think I'd like to have his thoughts on this too. So currently, Ghislaine Maxwell is appealing her sentence. Okay. It may go to the Supreme Court because of the NDA. They're claiming that she was covered because it was like a federal deal, even though it was a state level. So there's all this back and forth going on. It could end up at the Supreme Court, and she could possibly either get off or get a retrial. Now, the significance of that would be this evidence. In June of last year, there was someone that filed a FOIA requesting that they unseal some FBI files that were related to Epstein, and the judge, excuse me, the judge denied it, and he ruled that releasing the files could intervene with a potential retrial of Ghislaine Maxwell because her appeal is ongoing. So, hypothetically speaking, if she ends up going there and they find that something was messy and she ends up in a retrial because she
There's
never
a lot of people
took the
in here.
stand. If she ends up in a
You have
situation
something
where
like
there's a
3,000,
retrial
4,000?
and goes on the stand, then we're potentially opening a huge can of worms for naming
Who's
people,
opening the
because
can of worms?
initially the whole thing would open the can of worms.
Who's
So like if she goes
responsible
to
for it?
retrial, what do you mean who's if she goes to a retrial, if the Supreme Court if they
They're
rule
not
that she needs
so
a
the
retrial,
basis of their request for a retrial has nothing to do with the evidence.
it would though, because
It's
it would
not
all
part of
come
the
back
argument
out.
to
Okay.
determine whether or not she gets a retrial. It
It
is
is
not.
though.
I would have you
It
look.
could I've been down this rabbit hole. I looked it up. Now just let me finish, because what happens is if she does, because initially right now she's in there for trafficking mainly to Epstein, even though other people were mentioned, some redacted, some not. But even though other people were mentioned, the basis of her
The basis of a
her
retrial is the
her
claim
sentence.
that she is one of the unnamed co-conspirators from the 2000.
No, it's
Yes,
not. No, it's
yes, it
not.
is. Yes, it is.
It's the NDA.
It
It's not
is.
the
It
it's a co
is.
it well yes, but it's not an NDA. NPA. She can't be prosecuted as a co-conspirator. So yes and no. It was a federal that was at a state level. So what they did in the federal charge was they
I'd
plead a
jump in, but
Just a
state.
I
moment.
do not know
For
law
our
that
listeners,
well,
because I want to make sure
so
that we're all on the same page.
I don't know law, so
Brock,
I don't want to sit
what
here
are
and
the
act like I
reasons
do.
given for Ghislaine Maxwell's request for a retrial that's currently before the Supreme Court? Be specific.
So you were asking about Ghislaine Maxwell's reasons for requesting a retrial before the Supreme Court. Her primary argument is that Jeffrey Epstein's 2007 non-prosecution agreement with federal prosecutors in Florida included a co-conspirator clause that she claims barred her prosecution in New York. She also argues the statute of limitations had expired, as the charges involved acts before the relevant law's enactment, and that circuit courts inconsistently interpret non-prosecution agreements, noting her motion to dismiss would have been granted in at least 4 other circuits. Additionally, she cites jury impartiality issues, claiming a juror's erroneous answers during voir dire, and argues the court's response to a jury note constructively amended the indictment. Anything else you need clarified?
Nope. Thank you. You did exactly like you were supposed to, which has proved me right. Thank you.
I
Oh, that's a mute glitch. I didn't mute you. It's a mute glitch. And 3, 2, 1, go ahead. Almost, Nikki. That's a mute glitch. It's double mute. Sorry, you guys. But anyways, the point is, I guess I'll use this airtime. The point is that the request for the retrial has nothing to do with previous or future releases of the Epstein files, right? The case has already been
wait.
tried. The evidence is already in custody What's sealed is sealed. What isn't isn't.
Right.
They're not going to release court sealed documents to the public. That's actually in part of the provisions within the bill that Massey has up in the jumbotron. You can read the text yourself. It's very specific. If the information or evidence would interfere with an ongoing investigation, then it is to be released in a classified setting. Go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, I just want to finish, but yes, I was trying to clarify. I always feel like I have to talk fast because, you know, I don't want to get cut off. But anyway, my point is that there.
Could you speed up, please?
Oh my goodness.
No, no,
I'm
you're
just
fine.
saying, like, I just want people to remember that the Ghislaine Maxwell thing is a big deal. It's bigger than what people are making it out to be because
What do you mean it's
there,
bigger than what we're making it out to be? We think it's the biggest deal ever.
It's bigger than what people. The Ghislaine Maxwell issue is bigger than people are like kind of ignoring it, in my opinion.
I don't think anybody's ignoring it. I think what it is Ghislaine Maxwell was already prosecuted. She's already in prison. What more can they do to her? You know, I think that's the thing. I think most people are looking at it that way. What more can happen to Ghislaine Maxwell? She's already in prison.
Or she can choose an opportunity
No,
to not
wait.
testify and
No.
incriminate herself. I mean, the logic doesn't stand.
She
Right
could
now,
be.
right now, we have the leverage, right? Because she's already locked up.
Yeah.
If you give
She's
her a
already locked up.
retrial
That's it.
and give her an opportunity to be free, what incentive does she have to disclose the names? Right now, we have the power. She has an incentive to disclose the names in exchange for freedom. If you give her a retrial where we no longer have that
This
leverage,
He
there's
knows
a
what he's
very good
talking about.
chance, like before, she's not going to give you any new names.
No.
So why would we ever advocate for that? Exactly.
Right.
You make
Nikki, go ahead.
when you make the deal, you know, when you put this out there and you say this is what we're doing, that in my opinion, I think that's what they would have to do. They'd have to figure out a way where they beforehand, and again, crypto lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, so maybe he has like a take on this, but I think there
Yeah,
could,
that wouldn't require a trial at all. It would
there
just be a deal, like Diligent's
Right.
saying.
right,
The
but if
trial's
there's
already
if
occurred.
they never brought anybody else in, the only people, so when she was
They
convicted,
structured it in
stop
a way that they
interrupting me
didn't.
because you interrupt. I'm
They.
old and you forget. When my thoughts interrupt, I
Oh
lose it.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right?
I'm just looking at your profile. You look young. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, if when she was convicted, it was like trafficking kids to Epstein. Everything was about getting the kids to Epstein. Other people were mentioned,
That was
but
by design.
right. But I'm saying, like, the other people that mentioned, they didn't get shit. So I understand, like, we both agree on the same end result. And I think the way of getting there might be the problem. I don't know the right way of getting there because I feel like,
It's definitely not the one that you suggested.
well, I feel like getting them into a courtroom by subpoena via a case that's already been established to be trafficking
So
conviction.
how can a subpoenaed individual respond when they don't want to give you an answer legally under the law?
I don't know. Let's talk to crypto lawyer. I just
I
feel
can
like
tell you. I don't need to ask an attorney. I can tell you. It's called the Fifth Amendment, where you can invoke the Fifth
Yeah.
Amendment and refuse to answer a subpoenaed question because it might incriminate yourself.
Right. And
Well,
you
So
have
particularly
a right.
while she's appealing, especially while she's appealing, right? You don't want to incriminate.
Yes,
so what's
exactly.
what are we
So,
what are we doing? So what are we doing with the list? What do we want? If all these people
Right.
why am I
are going to
having to
plead the
answer
fifth
this again?
anyway?
It's very simple. Okay, let me just articulate it, please. So all I want, all the American people want, are what we were promised. It's very clear, a very concise
Right.
message that the Trump
Right.
administration gave the American people
Yep.
for the first 5 months of his presidency. Let me reiterate it for you. I'll quote. The quote is: names, information, flight logs, and accountability for those individuals who have been kept hidden and secret so that
Right.
they may see their day in court.
Right.
End quote.
And even if
So
they
by
don't,
your own
and even if they don't, that's okay. Yeah. Well, that's okay. At least we know. Now we know.
They have videos of
guy
all
say.
of those people
She's
going
already
into the
been
mansion.
convicted, David.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
even waste the time having this argument? She's been
Right.
convicted. She's in jail. She wants out of jail. You
Right.
give her the DOJ, and Trump, particularly with his
Right.
pardon powers, his
Right.
clemency powers, has the ability to make a deal
Exactly.
with her and let her out of jail in exchange for information that would lead to convictions. Period.
Right. But
There's
right.
nothing to
But
argue about.
and
She
the
shouldn't
moment
be
the
let out of jail, though. That's the point.
Well,
I
if
yes,
you
that's-
want
well,
information
you
out of
don't
her,
know
then
that.
you let her out
You
of
don't
jail.
know. She's not in
Right.
there continuing to. You think that she's going to get out and have the ability to go molest people again, or the maybe hundreds of people who are implicated in this case who are continuing to do what they do because pedophiles never stop being pedophiles. They're still
Right,
out
but
there harming kids, Nikki.
The burden of proof. You have to have so much for the burden of proof.
We
That's
don't
why.
have to listen. I don't want to have an argument about this. She's already been tried. We don't have to try to convict her. She's already been convicted. Let's go to Aladdin. Go ahead, Aladdin.
Oh, thank you. I've been waiting forever.
If you're gonna come up here and just complain, bro, then I'm gonna. move on.
No, I'm not gonna complain. No, so here's the thing. When I was an intelligence officer, I actually looked for Jeffrey Epstein files. I put a post on it. I looked in data tree, CIA wires, NSA cables, all that stuff. Except a reference about him back in 2004. I didn't find anything. So if my theory, most of the damning evidence has been damaged or deleted,
Yeah.
or it is still on paper file and never been digitized. And
Yeah.
Going
if you ask
through-
me, it's gone.
paper evidence is extremely exhausting. And when I was in the intelligence community and we started digitizing stuff and uploading it to the PSSCI level, or depends, or like the secret level, because we have a NIPR, SIPR, and JWICS, it's extremely exhausting. What I think, most of that stuff has been destroyed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I hate to say it,
Yeah.
and
Most
I
of
think
it's been
the
destroyed.
administration
Do you have any
is just,
evidence to support that theory?
Sure.
you can't take anything out of SCIF. I'm sorry. I said my piece.
So the
About-
answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. But I looked it up, and I have a very
They destroyed it. You don't need
reputable
evidence to know
reputation.
that the
I
most
don't
powerful people in the world
lie to
came
people.
and destroyed it.
if anybody follows my
But
work,
you don't know that it was destroyed, so you're just theorizing. So I'm not saying that you're lying.
Yeah, he's making
I'm
an
just
educated
saying-
guess. He's making an educated guess. Yeah.
But he lacks evidence to support the speculation, which is why I was asking.
yeah. So when I put my post, I put two theories. It's either majority of the damning evidence has been destroyed, or it never been digitized and it's still on paper. And
Hey, Diligent, can I ask
if-
Greg a question
okay.
quick when I get a chance?
and if
I
it's
can't hear both of you.
and if it's still on paper, then we need a special counsel to actually go over that. Because if you have so many, like for example, like the JFK files, it's like 100,000s of pages on that. So it would be the same thing with Epstein. It would be at least 80 to 150,000 of pages
Shit.
between source validation to people talking to each other about something. So you have to have a special counsel with a freaking team to go over all that actual paper, physical paper, to go over all
Did we
of
lose
that.
him?
What's that?
No, I can hear him.
Can anybody else
I can
hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can anybody hear me?
Am I the only one
Yeah,
who
I
just
can-
lost his audio?
I don't think you can hear us. Diligent, can you hear me?
Uh-oh. He can't hear. I can hear you, David. Diligent.
Oh,
You might.
well,
He
Aladdin.
just wait.
Aladdin, let
Pause
me
for a
ask.
second, because he may have went out to reset the space. if he's
Okay,
hang on.
No, I'm back.
Okay,
I'm back.
hang on just a sec.
okay, good.
Go ahead. Sorry, I would just was like
Yeah,
trying
can
to.
you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Can you
good.
hear me?
I caught most of what you said, but you couldn't hear me. We can continue.
Yeah. So
Aladdin, I have a question for you about that, Aladdin. What about when Alexander Acosta, who was the attorney, U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, who told Trump's transition officials in 2016 that he has been instructed to back off prosecuting Epstein because he belonged to intelligence. Now, wouldn't
By the
the
way, David,
CIA?
that's been now somewhat.
You don't need to censor him, Charlie. I see what you're doing though. You're gonna let him finish what he's saying. Continue, David.
I'm responding. I'm not censoring it.
Well,
He wasn't finished talking, so how can you respond? You're talking over him, so he can't be heard. That's called censorship. Continue, David.
by the way, every single neocon in the history of the world is always trying to
That's how you
minimize
gotta
this. So
control these
everybody else just be
spaces,
aware of that. That's not
honestly.
MAGA. Neocons aren't MAGA. But Aladdin, my question to you is, wouldn't the intelligence community themselves know it? Like with all the other information gone, wouldn't the CIA themselves still know whether he was an asset for either or both the CIA or the Mossad?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
that's forever
a
written
lot
down
of like,
in a book
if you go to
somewhere.
my profile, I was actually part of the intelligence community in Army Counterintelligence Command, which is
Yeah,
part of.
that's why I was asking you.
Yeah, no, they should be able, but the thing is I personally looked him up based on my access, which is I had the highest access available, and I had access to CIA wires as well, and that's on JWIX,
Damn.
and that's
This
the
dude. Whoa.
Joint Worldwide Intelligence Community Network. Even with that, you have to have a special access to access some databases. I looked up everything except one mention back in 2004. That was it. And my theory is they probably still have everything on paper and they never digitized that. Why I keep saying that? Because in 2016, when Trump won the election, right after that, there was actually a push by Congress to digitize everything. And government being government and government employees being inept and incapable of doing anything, they haven't digitized shitload of stuff, and part of it is being the Epstein stuff, or maybe it was deliberate, and I wouldn't be surprised, because who tried Ghislaine Maxwell? James Comey's daughter.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
let me ask you this: do you think, out of your heart of hearts, with all the knowledge that you have, do you think that this was likely a blackmail operation?
I do. Yeah, yeah.
Tell us why you think that.
Uh, fuck.
It's okay if you don't, but I mean, so I just want to tell you that Diligent did something, and Diligent, I wasn't even on this space, but I was so blown away by it. I retweeted to everyone like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." He went through Grok. He used AI to use Occam's razor to assess everything, and it was like there are transnational elites. They're clearly hiding something. The
Right.
intelligence community
Right.
is involved. I mean,
There's too many cumulative anomalies.
it was absolutely. Listen, I haven't even said this to you yet, Diligent. That was amazing. That was amazing, and I think part of it is you've gotten really good at asking it the questions. But this is AI, right? This is not neocon AI. This is just AI
Yeah.
elucidating, basically drawing one conclusion to another, concatenating data. So I do anything you have to say about that, Aladdin. I'd love to hear about it.
So, without divulging classified information, I'm trying to phrase this without me getting in trouble. And I've dealt a great deal with uh, the Israeli intelligence and Saudi
Oh shit! Here we go.
and other intelligence agencies, across NATO and all that stuff. The most persistent, especially when it comes to terrorism or anything related to a particular interest, the Israelis, the most persistent people. Sorry, sneezed. The Israelis like the most persistent people when it comes to
Some breaking news. I have some breaking news. I'm sorry. Attorney General Pam Bondi has fired Maureen Comey from her job as the DOJ Manhattan prosecutor. She is the daughter of James Comey. She was also responsible for prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and P. Diddy. That's a bombshell. That's huge.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I have something that
Yeah, that's what it.
I have something I want to add
Hold
to the
on, hold on,
intelligence
hold
thing
on, hold
before we
on.
get too
Yeah,
far.
so you're rugging. I can't do that to my listeners, so just bear with me for 1 second. We're gonna pivot now because I want to talk about the implications of that breaking news. That is
which went
huge
down
news.
to the bottom of
That is
the
massive.
Mariana
That she
Trench.
has been a part of this entire deal for years and years and years. Absolutely crazy news. That was unexpected. However, I don't think it's just. I think that it's going to that's going to put whoever oversees the current Ghislaine Maxwell case in Trump's court, right? He's going to have more influence over that case because she has persisted. Now, don't think it's like sheer coincidence. You know, she was actually an attorney for the DOJ under Trump, the first term. She was the one that tried both Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein under Trump. So it is crazy that today we are watching him kind of fire his own people in association with this. I think it's probably, if I had to speculate, the name recognition. You know, he's going out there and completely blaming Comey for what we're looking at today. And it looks a little bad for Trump to have a daughter of the person he is blaming overseeing the very cases that which he is, you know, laying scrutiny to. So this is wild news. This is a huge turn of events. I want to talk about this, so we're going to move on from whatever it was that we were discussing right there and change the subject to these new revelations. I apologize. Go ahead, David, and then we'll go to Charlie.
Can you see my hand?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why I kind of don't buy it. Right with you, Nikki. I don't really listen. I can't stand this person, but like with the Diddy trial, and I think our intelligence friend will agree with me here. With the Diddy trial, usually when the FBI, who has a 98% conviction rate, when they give you all the data to take to court, it's over. It doesn't even go to court, in fact. It goes to plea. And so if it fumbles, if it gets to the point where, I don't think that's on the prosecutor. I think, you know, like again, with this an FBI case, like when they go to your house and they get all of that shit on you, when they crash multiple mansions for P. Diddy and they get all the stuff on him, and then all of a sudden they fumble at the end, it's like, oh, this isn't what we thought. That's not the way the FBI operates. Usually it's how they start is how they finish. The story is over before it ever is heard by anybody. So I'm a little bit incredulous that this woman is the real problem.
So can I talk about this a little bit, because
if it's about this specific topic subject, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. It was like James Comey's daughter prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. She's in the crosshair. If anything missing or anything been deleted, she should be in the crosshair, and she should be the one that be questioned and be like, hey, where the heck everything gone? Because she had all the evidence, and all the evidence, it was in the Southern District of New York, and that should be the target, and that's what we should be pushing for, us as citizens. And you Diligent, you have a massive audience and a bunch of other people like Nick Sorter and whatnot, and we need to focus on that. I was like, okay, why you did not digitize all the
Breaking
files?
news is up in the Jumbotron, you guys. Everybody go share it out. Thank you. Go ahead, Aladdin.
Yeah, why you did not digitize all of that stuff? Because you were mandated by an executive order and Congress in 2017, and also uh, after that, like what happened to these files? This is a high case profile. Like what happened to the entire evidence? If something missing, she should be in the crosshair. I know Pam Bondi came out and said bunch of shit, and Cash Patel said bunch of shit, and Don Bongino said bunch of shit about it, and they're not finding anything. It was like because shit probably got deleted, and if it's paper stuff, it probably got shredded, and if it got shredded, we have minimum. So if you go on JWix or Sipper and you send an email, there's minimum when you send an email. If it's not classified, if then that's no big deal. But if it's classified, you have to click a bunch of things, and one of them, it's 25 years. Basically, whatchamacallem, 25 years record preservation. That and you can go up to 50 years, depending on what's the classification for the email or the document that you're actually trying to send from point A to point B. So if you're deleting information, or it doesn't matter if it's physical or electronic, because if you have anything marked secret, then you have to preserve that document for at least 25 years, if it's not marked 50 years. So if you're destroying these documents without a proper authorization,
Yeah, that's a crime.
It is a crime.
Destroying evidence. Yep.
Yes, and you can go up to 20 years for
and
that.
If you're doing it under orders, then you're doing it. It's even a larger crime. I wanna get through some of these hands though, Aladdin. Thank you very much, sir. Hang out. I'll come back to you in just a second.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Just wanna, Yep. Bottom right corner. I was gonna go till 7, but now that we have this breaking news, I want to discuss the implications with Grok. So I'm gonna keep it going a little bit longer. Let me change the time, and I am gonna host a subscriber-only space immediately after this one. There is a link up in the Jumbotron. It's next to the post I just put up there. And remember, we're gonna keep it centered on these new revelations of what's going on with AG Pam Bondi firing Comey, which is very interesting because Comey, this woman has a long sordid history with all of these cases. It's actually wild that she's the common denominator, and this wasn't pointed out sooner. It's crazy. Charlie, go ahead.
It is crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask
This
you,
whole
based
thing
on
is
the kind of
nuts.
tone
You know what I
of
mean?
way you announced that news
Like,
just now,
what is going on
is
here?
it would be a shocking turn of events if you did. Do you have a problem with them firing Maureen Comey? Because if I would have said 6 months ago, or 3 months ago, maybe even 2 months ago, or 1 month ago, that that the Trump Justice Department fired the daughter of James Comey, everyone would have been going, yeah, or something along those lines. It sounded like you were expressing concern about the fact that they fired Maureen Comey, or am I wrong?
Did I express concern, or are you making it sound like I did?
No, I'm telling you how it sounded to me, so I'm asking you to clarify.
Did I say that I was concerned about it?
It sounded like you did. That's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you to clarify. Yeah.
It's new
starting to
news,
get a
so
little
I wanted
petty.
to talk about it, but I don't care that they
Okay.
fired her.
Okay.
I said actually what I expressed was I said, why is it taking them so long? Like that is actually what I said. I think that's actually a quote.
Yeah, what is taking them so long? What took them so long to get her out of there? I don't even get it. How in the world?
thought it was so. If you clarified it, thank you very much. It sounded to me like it was continuing your tone of skepticism about the Trump administration regarding this issue.
I am still skeptical.
And this was an extension
I
of your
will
skepticism.
remain skeptical. Yeah, I will remain skeptical of the government. This is a dollar. This is a dollar short and a day late. The reason why I said that was in conjunction with Trump's
what he said.
tweets. You know, naming Comey as responsible for what he is now calling a hoax, and she still worked for the government when he did it. That's why you heard the skepticism and the tone in my voice. And so I think it's actually, you know.
Okay, so you are a little bit. Okay, so it's fair to say, and to correct me if I'm wrong, that you are a little bit skeptical in the context of what's going on in the overall Epstein file issue.
I am incredibly skeptical of what's going on in the overall context of the Epstein case. I don't think that's a secret.
But does it extend to this story? Does it extend to this story?
Every bit of it, until we get what we deserve, there's going to be intense scrutiny and skepticism on my part. 100%.
Okay, fine. So can I
There's going to be no move or action that the administration takes right now that I am not going to look through with an ultra skeptical and critical lens. 100%.
Fair enough. No, I appreciate you being direct and honest about that. So it brings me to my, I guess my overall point, which is, even though for the most part, especially I came because I heard Thomas Massey was on, and I have a long history, not like great friends, not that type of long history, but dealing with Thomas Massey. I have libertarian leanings when it comes to economics and trade and that kind of stuff. So I love him for that kind of stuff. But he's just like a professional contrarian. So like Trump, he pisses me the fuck off when I disagree with him. I really disagree with him, you know? But back in the day, just as a small side anecdote, I hosted during the Republican primary. I was a DeSantis supporter, or you guys can shit on me for that too. But Massey was one of the few people who supported DeSantis during the primary. One of maybe 2 or 3, Chip Roy and a couple others. So me and some Twitter friends hosted a money bomb, like fundraiser basically, for several members of Congress or candidates,
Massey
including
is pretty awesome. I don't know why
Thomas Massey. So it's funny how things come around. And now I vehemently disagree with him, like as much as possible when it comes to foreign policy and this stuff. And I think he's just, you know, he's a retarded libertarian when it comes to some issues.
Do you have any comments about Comey getting fired? That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, no. So, but I guess the comment is, I applaud it, I guess. Because I'm not black-pilled at all on this issue, and because I hated James Comey's influence before today, I maintain my hatred of James Comey and his family's influence after today. So I guess it's like a non-thing. I think it continues. I look at it very.
It doesn't really change much, really, does it? Other than optics.
No, exactly. I think this particular issue. So sticking just to this one, I think this particular issue is an extension from.
Hopefully, if there's an attorney listening, if they can tell me. Whether or not this does actually increase Ghislaine Maxwell's opportunity to get a retrial. Because a lot of the times, whenever you have a prosecutor who is found to be...
I don't think so. I don't think it has any effect whatsoever.
Who is found to be corrupt, or there seems to be a problem with their integrity, at least... they can be used as grounds for a mistrial or a retrial or an appeal, right? And I can probably ask Rock to do that, but if you're an attorney and please request, let me know. I will definitely like to hear from an attorney on that.
I think you're right, but only really quickly. I think you're right about what you just said, but only if she's being fired for professional misconduct reasons, as opposed to we don't trust you reasons, right? Because they're at-will employees essentially, so they could be fired for any.
I say get her gone immediately. As soon as Trump got in, she should have been gone.
She was fired then.
Exactly.
I'm sure her name having Comey behind it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, it has everything to do with it.
No, it probably has a lot to do with it. It probably has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Let's go to Choose Liberty. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is really interesting because I was trying to think about this earlier today, and I was like, why is Trump doing all these things? Like, is he taking a dive, like, in boxing, or what's going on? But with Comey's daughter, this is what I think is actually happening. I bet Trump is pissed that this is distracting from his accomplishments, and he probably told Bondi, fix this. And now that's why Bondi acted and fired Comey's daughter. That's what I think is happening. I also think
I
that
think it also kind of lends credibility to his claim, right? Now that he's firing her, people are going to be like, "It was always about James Comey." See. Do you think that that's going to have this effect?
um I don't know. I think
I know that it is because I can see it in my comments already. But go ahead.
yeah. I guess for me, it's the Comey thing just seemed more like a personal beef to me than anything. So I don't know. In my personal opinion, I don't think it'll really have that much effect. But I do think that it does show some action, which is I know the main thing you're asking for. You're saying just do something. Like,
No, that's not what I'm asking for. I've been very explicit with what I'm
well,
asking
yeah,
for.
I know, and you laid it out a little earlier. Right after I joined.
What am I
but,
asking for?
I didn't write it down, but you basically asked for Trump to keep to what
I'm
they
asking
promised.
for names,
Yep. Names,
flight
evidence,
logs,
and
information,
accountability. Yeah.
and accountability.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what I was promised.
So my
I
memory is
demand it. I'm not asking. I'm demanding.
right. And so I guess my memory is still a little good, hanging in there, I guess. But I want one other thing, and I'll mute myself. Matt Gaetz, I have a feeling he's going to become special prosecutor. I just have a feeling like that's the play here.
No chance in hell. 0% chance. 0%.
Hey, if I were a betting man, I would take a flyer on it. All right.
There's a
So-
reason why Matt Gaetz doesn't work in the government anymore, and I'll leave it at that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
He's
All right.
out.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Let's go to Rilla. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Diligent. Yeah, with respect to the Comey news, you definitely are right. I think they're going to try to pin this on Comey. It's Comey's daughter. But if you go back to the whole binder gate thing, that was all about not getting the files. They pushed the binder gate because they said they weren't getting the correct files from SDNY. A lot of that stuff sealed. They said they had to take trucks of U-Haul to go pick all that up. I think ultimately they're just rolling this out. They're going to pin this on SDNY. Comey's daughter, just my own opinion, she's obviously involved with corruption. And her father's basically in a conspiracy to take down the president for a 10-year rolling conspiracy. I just think all this is going to be bottled up into some sort of RICO conspiracy case. It's going to involve the Epstein. It's going to involve the deep state. Just a lot of different factors,
I'd
but
like to
yeah,
see
with
that.
the Comey stuff, this is definitely going to go a direction that she messed around, fucked with the files, or did something wrong. And I don't think they fired her initially because of the whole Diddy trial when they took office. So, but I don't know. That's just what I have to say. Thanks, Diligent.
Thanks. Appreciate that take, brother. Let's go to Andrew. Go ahead.
So, I'm trying to get inside Trump said also, and from yesterday too, and the previous talker also was saying, but it just seems like there has to be something in there on him. Why? There's no way Trump would have not released this unless there's something on him. And I'm trying to think. And now with this news, how easy would it have been for her to somehow plant a video of one of the girls? Because, there are a lot of pictures with Trump, with Epstein partying in New York City and, with a lot of girls. And what if Trump was with one of those girls back in the day and somehow someone has a video of that, and then somehow that got into Epstein's house or,
I think
in his place?
I think that
No.
the primary evidence doesn't afford that kind of speculation, other than the unexplainable reaction that he's giving now, which would imply. And I ran a poll, so I'm not completely shutting it down, because there is circumstantial evidence that does suggest that he's protecting something. What it is, I don't know. But if I did take a poll last night.
Either that
I don't
or
know if
he's
I put up
using
in
it to make
Jumbotron. Let me
deals.
see if I did.
I think
Either
that's
that-
unlikely.
I did. So please don't talk over me.
There
So I
is
took-
something in there that with him. Let me just land one thing.
Hold on. So up in the Jumbotron, all the way to the right, I took a poll last night. I said, quote, MAGA, why has the Trump administration flip-flopped, covered up on the Epstein
Jumbotron,
case? And then here we are at. We have 2,350 votes. 38% say that Trump allies are implicated, and that's why. 26% say Trump is implicated himself, and that's why. 17% say it's DOJ incompetence or just simply ego, like not taking accountability for the incompetence. And then 19% said, read my comment. The least popular notion was it was incompetence. By the total out of the whole poll, 64% say that either Trump or one of his allies is implicated, and that is why we're seeing the okey doke play out right now. Andrew, you can continue.
Diligent, can I say something? Because I need to drop off because I have something to do.
Yeah, quickly, but Andrew's got the floor, but go ahead.
Yeah, so back in 2020, I was a joint duty officer at DIA Counterterrorism Center in McLean, Virginia. When the election happened and John Ratcliffe at the time was the director of ODNI and requested information on the election, at the time,
I don't have any of that. And I have
my desk was right next to a conference office, and the FBI lawyers had a meeting, and they were stupid enough to keep the door cracked open a little bit, so I overheard some stuff. That after what I heard, I requested literally that day after I got off work, I called my boss and I was like, hey, I need reassignment immediately. I cannot stay. The FBI lawyer advisory, which is basically GS 14 and 15s, and that what basically controls all the policies and writes all the policies and drive narratives and all that stuff. They controls everything. That's what you need to start with. If the administration is serious about that and Don Blandino is serious about that, he needs to start fire all these ladies, because it's controlled majority by left-wing lunatics, women, controlling the entire policy of the entire DOJ and FBI as well. And not just
I can
that,
believe
pretty
that.
much
So
every,
if you want to infiltrate
every
something,
one
you
of
put
the
your people in.
17 intelligence agencies.
That's just bottom line intelligence. I mean, if I want to take something over, you slowly through the years, you only elect the people you know that will shut up and do what you tell them to do behind the scenes. I mean, so I run a company. Let's think of America as a business. I run a company.
So yeah, that's that. Yeah,
I get
that's
to
my two
finish, right?
sentences.
I get to finish.
Yeah, Andrew gets to finish.
So I just think that
Thank you, Aladdin.
Trump cannot leave this the way it is. He doesn't. He's not reading the room. He just doesn't realize how many of his core believers. I mean, some of the posts I'm reading, saying that we're not real MAGA. Or, it's almost like the father telling the children, "Shut up, sit down," and it's just not going to work. And I think that unless he does something, like a special counsel, do it where he pushes it off for maybe the end of his term. Who knows? But he has to do something to get. Unless how's he gonna possibly do rallies the way things are? The guy might actually get booed, not maybe off the stage, but he's gonna literally fight with the crowd. I mean, can you imagine right now a rally? I don't think he gets it. So regarding this firing, I truly believe this has something to do with planting of evidence or somehow manipulating evidence. And the other part, I still cannot understand Dan Bongino. The only way he would go along with this is if there's something we don't know in there about Trump. And he knows it's bullshit. And he says to himself, well, how do we release this? I know it's bullshit. And if we release it, Trump's screwed. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm just, Dan Bongino, to me, when his story breaks, then we'll know a lot more of the truth. I don't think he's selling out. There's no way the guy's selling out. I think he's doing what's best for the country and for Trump. But with this
if he hadn't got up on national television and lied to me about the conclusive nature of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide, then I would agree with you.
You're right.
As soon as he lied to me about the suicide, he lost credibility.
100%.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Let's
man.
go to, thank you.
As much as I do want the man to win, because
Nikki.
his
You've had
winning
plenty of
is
floor
winning
time,
for
and
me.
your microphone is atrocious right now, so get that squared away. I'm going to go to Gabe. Go ahead, Gabe.
Hey, Diligent. I appreciate everything you do.
Probably a mute glitch, my brother. Probably a mute glitch. I'm not doing it on purpose. Blame Nikki. Right now, we're gonna blame Nikki for the mute glitch. Okay, I just want you to put your.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead,
I
Gabe.
appreciate it.
I can hear you, brother.
Well, I appreciate everything you do, and just my 2 cents on Maureen Comey would be that I think the administration obviously needed some positive headlines, and she's not a popular person, and that's basically it. That would be a skeptical view. If there's anything positive to take away out of all this, is this push was her firing was the downstream consequence of the entire push. So the administration can be pushed to take some actions ultimately. But if you want to tie it into the entire Epstein case, my biggest frustration with the entire thing wasn't the lack of files. It's entirely conceivable that there was no smoking gun. My bigger frustration was with just the lack of willingness to pursue this, because there's plenty of evidence out there. There's still victims out there that could be interviewed. The Costa thing that's been brought up, he could be subpoenaed, he could be questioned about that intelligence comment. There's still the Les Wexner that's never been questioned, and he's allegedly funded a big portion of that operation. So there's still what Bondi and or Cash Patel could have done. They could have said, hey, listen, been honest with the public. Hey, listen, we don't have the files that are out there, but we don't have any smoking gun or the evidence. But what we could do is we could restart the investigation and pursue this from scratch, start interviewing the witnesses, start collecting the evidence, do the groundwork.
Okay, I'm gonna drop anybody who puts shit in my jumbotron without asking. Okay, thank you. They keep doing it. I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So that was my 2 cents. As far as Maureen Comey, I think it's mostly performative.
What am I missing?
It's
here?
smoke.
It's smoke.
Right?
Yeah. That's my 2 cents. I mean, it's sad, but they needed good headlines, and it's a good.
You see through it. Are you a Trump supporter?
I voted for him 3 times, and I'm still hoping that it could turn around. My biggest thing is maybe, and I know I've always held it that Trump had 3 or 4 major issues that he cared about the most: immigration, tariffs, and this my hope, my internal cope is that maybe this has never been on his radar to the degree that we believe it was, but some tell me that might not be the case. Some tell me there might be something bigger than that, and I've been a big supporter, and I had not been involved in politics as much as I've been this year, and I've organized my local effort to get out and vote for my county here in North Carolina, which I knew was a swing state. So, extremely disappointing. They always have a chance to turn it around. It's only been 6 months, but so far it's not very hopeful.
I gotta agree.
Thank you for your service, first of all, and second of all, also, I'm glad that you acknowledged that it was cope. So many people coming up here, they make the line of optimistic speculative reasoning, which is where I was at for the first couple of days, I would say.
Yeah,
me too.
It's appreciated because I am pretty black pilled.
Yeah, well, I try to straddle that line. I don't want to go too far into the black pill because it's just hopelessness, right? But on the other hand,
I'm not hopeless because I just because I have a resolve. If I land on there is no good outcome,
yeah.
Well, then I feel like that would be hopelessness. But that's not my position at all. My position is just a firm resolve to demand what I was promised, regardless of anything else they throw.
And you're correct. And I think the demand should be the message, because we're not here to show loyalty to anyone. We showed our loyalty when we showed up in November. It's their turn to show loyalty to us.
Yeah.
They have not delivered.
I agree with this guy.
That should be the messaging from the Trumps, from the MAGA.
We showed up and voted. We got
Trump
you in.
doesn't get to tell us what MAGA is.
You said you would do this. Now you can do it. That's it.
It's set in stone.
If you're in the list, bud, that's not our problem.
Would you say that my position is unreasonable?
I don't think so. I think it's reasonable.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Let's go to Mike Baker. Welcome to the stage, sir.
Hey, yeah, what's up, man? How's it going, Dilly? Matt Baker, yeah. So
Matt Baker, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Thanks for keeping these spaces going. I'm sure people have said it before, but the thing is, it just doesn't make sense that Trump would go around constantly publicizing Epstein Island and hiring Bongino and hiring Patel, constantly going around talking about the list if he was really seriously implicated in it in a real way. Now, whether he is now or not, basically because
Yeah.
The list could have been curated.
Right.
People could have been taken out. Things could have been put in. That's a possibility. I think.
But just put it out and let's see where it goes. We ain't got a choice.
For anyone who will give us the full,
Yeah.
unredacted,
I have some breaking
unadulterated
news.
actual list.
I have some news. Pam Bondi has just fired a new software engineer hire that was working data analytics on the Epstein case. So now they are definitely cleaning house. That was a new hire.
About time.
That is crazy.
They need to.
Well, why would they do that? Why would they hire somebody new?
And then
that,
clean this clock. Could
What
be.
do they
you,
know?
You see, here's the thing. You don't know.
This is crazy.
You can do as
This is
many
crazy.
What did you think
backgrounds
about my
as you
theory?
want, but you never know.
What was it? Can
who
you
you're hiring.
re-articulate? I'm sorry. I'm looking at news while I'm doing this.
Okay. What I was saying is if you believe that the list is real, if you believe that the blackmail is real, if you believe that Mossad did it and the whole operation was done for the
I
purpose,
don't believe
obviously
so.
they're
I
not
don't
going to get
believe
rid.
so. I
What
don't
I'm
per- I
saying
don't-
is that they could, if Trump came out and got ahead of it and said, "I'm putting out anyone who can bring the unredacted full list out," so that somebody in one of these intelligence agencies would actually release the real list, because the idea that it's been unadulterated
Right.
seems unreasonable. Of course, people are going to be pulling their friends out if there's a picture of their
You can
friend in there.
follow Diligent.
They're not going to want to
I think we're-
implicate
I
their
think-
friend.
here. Right here's his thing.
I think we're getting hung up on the
So-
fact that of this notion of a
Go ahead
list,
and hit that follow
when
button.
really what the
Boom,
list
boom,
really
become a
represents
subscriber
is
even. You can do all that right here.
a group of individuals from various cases throughout the decades that have been named in investigations but not named in the prosecutions or any of the subsequent discovery.
I don't follow a
And
lot
so
of people, but
I
I'm going
think
to follow
that-
this guy. He's
I
intelligent.
think that,
he's strong with his opinion, and I like that.
like the implications, like you asserted
I
that
believe
if
what
you
he
think that it's
believes.
Mossad, well, I think that we don't have enough information to
Promises
made,
made, promises kept,
generally believed.
and if it's promises
but,
broken,
yeah,
you ain't got me
But
no
do I
more.
have evidence
And I
to
agree with
prove
him.
it? No. I know that there's
The
ties
idea
there
is
through
that
Ghislaine
somebody has
Maxwell.
blackmail,
So I
and
think
that blackmail could be
somebody
released.
has but we have somebody has blackmail. That's given. But it doesn't
and they're
matter.
hiding
Like
the
all of
blackmail
those,
because they don't want to
all
give
of-
it out.
all of those secondary factors are irrelevant until you figured out who in the government is using, who is coercing President Trump to flip-flop, who is hiding this evidence, who is the one that ordered Acosta to give the sweetheart deal in 2007.
And that's where
Who is
money and
the
a pardon comes in. We'll give you a shitload of money and a pardon if you come clean and tell us who's doing what. Like for somebody behind the scenes to come out and say
There is
it's
somebody
more
that we
money.
know of. There is somebody that we know of who has that information, and we don't have to pay. Do you know who that is?
Go ahead.
It's Ghislaine Maxwell, and she's in prison right now, and
Right.
she needs something that's
We don't
worth
gotta
more
pay
than
her a
money,
fucking thing.
and that's her freedom.
Freedom.
But you don't think that she could be coerced into telling, oh, it's this guy, but not that guy? Whoever gives you the pardon?
That same reasoning can be applied to anybody who you try to throw in front of us
Right.
to tell us the truth. She's the one that's the most credible because we know her sordid history with Epstein.
Yep.
Whoever gives us the
but
most
it's a fact.
unredacted, whoever gives the most unredacted,
And
pure,
there's a lot of
unadulterated list gets the reward, and nobody else does.
and there's a lot of substantive evidence surrounding the case that can corroborate any names that she gives. All of the thousands of hours of video footage from his estates can corroborate the names or stories
Right.
she might
So
tell.
she
It's
gives
not like we
names.
have to take her just
We
at
go
her
look
word.
at the
There's a
videos,
lot of
and if the
surrounding
videos match
evidence
the names,
involving these
well, thank
cases,
you,
which, if we
Ghislaine
opened
Maxwell.
up the investigation,
Plain
could
and
be
simple.
used and pulled from under court seal if there was an active investigation. However, since Trump just closed the investigation, that's no longer a possibility unless things change.
Agreed. Yeah, she's a good start, but I think there's more information out there. I think it's bigger than even Ghislaine. And I think that people are actually holding the files and they won't even tell you what they have. But if you make it juicy enough and you give them immunity, they may just happen to find a copy of all these files that they happen to have been hiding, because right now it's the most valuable thing in the world. So you give them what the files are worth. And then possibly somebody leaks it or goes out and will actually turn state evidence, including Ghislaine. But anyway, that's all my thoughts.
Diligent, the problem with what you just said, and you don't realize it, because I think you are a person in good faith. You are in good faith, in my opinion, from what I've seen of you. But the problem with what you just said is it's called begging the question or assuming the question. You're starting with your conclusion and you're working your way backwards. A true person who's intellectually, honestly questioning something and is not emotionally invested allows for the possibility that you are wrong, that there is no who's blackmailing President Trump. There is no client list. That these things, at least the possibility needs to exist in your brain that these motherfucking things don't exist.
Okay, I can start here then.
You have to allow for that possibility, otherwise you're not really asking.
I am. So let me respond. Has Ghislaine Maxwell been asked by the government if there was another list of co-conspirators that she could implicate?
They have her little black book. They have her little black book.
That's so you didn't answer my question.
Hey,
so the answer is yes. I'm sure she's been asked
thing?
about it.
She hasn't. It's on record. The court files are on record. Go ahead, Crypto.
Yeah, just one thing. Just something to ponder, and then you guys can go off. I just happen to kind of know about this one. You may want to take into consideration that the government knows substantially, if not everything, of what she already knows, given her proffers, given her Castigar, and given the meetings they had prior to trial. So I'm just saying if people are under the assumption she's sitting in a jail cell with all this knowledge that the government doesn't have, you may be mistaken on that. You may want to.
But the government can't use that to prosecute other people without like a witnesses or the willingness to prosecute on evidence
Correct.
that they already have.
Correct. So the whole point of a proffer or a Castigar, which I've done more times than I can count, is you gather information, and any secondary information derived from that you can use, but you use it as a starting point. My point being is, I'm not saying you can use, the Castigar immunity proffer that they may have had with her, but they have the information. Now, obviously, if you want to use it to prosecute someone, well, then obviously you can grant her immunity and you can use her as a witness. But someone who's testified, someone who's used snitches or co-conspirators as my witnesses, if that's all you're bringing to the table without much more, it's a very difficult case. People don't like snitches. People don't like people that cut plea deals. People aren't going to like Maxwell. So if you're basing your entire case on giving her immunity, you're probably at a non-starter.
Except for that, we have a lot of corroborating evidence.
Right.
Maybe.
Also, Diligent, one thing you said earlier, one of the things you said that you're looking for is a list of the flights. We have that. We've had that for years.
No, there was new flight logs.
Right.
This was said in
that was
multiple
all
statements.
old flight logs.
So if I announce what I want, it is because the Trump administration has said it in the premise of releasing new information, as asked verbatim by Jesse Waters in at least 2 different occasions with AG Pam Bondi, but just throughout the entirety of the last 5 months. So if I say flight logs, information, and names, it's because they offered it up under the premise that it was new information. So I just want to make that clarified. And if you don't believe me, I would just have you scroll down just a couple of days. I constructed a timeline. Shout out to Kyle Seraphin for giving me most of that footage that I edited. And check it out. There's a timeline there of every time, or just about every time they made one of those statements. You can hear it in their own words. So take a look. Go ahead, Tom.
You're assuming that's what they meant, but they could have meant flight logs that are already practiced.
It was explicitly stated. I mean, what do you mean?
Right.
I'm not assuming anything. It was explicitly stated. Explicit.
New
that means
flight
without
logs.
a doubt. It was very, very specific.
New.
Go ahead, Tom.
New.
Oh, I got skipped. What the hell?
Oh, I can't see you, bro. You don't have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly point something out. I was in a space earlier
I think Charlie might have been in there, and they were discussing how Thomas Massey is so over. Thomas Massey is going to get beat. Thomas Massey is going to get replaced. And brother, I was on the ground rolling around laughing. If you don't know the history of Thomas Massey,
Love Thomas Massey.
You're rugged,
politics,
bro.
like
You're rubber banding,
politics.
buddy. You're rubber banding.
But if you haven't taken the time to go look at Thomas Massey from 2012, the first time he ran until now, and see that the establishment machine tried to make sure he didn't win.
Finally, about time. All right, this dude's disappearing. Take him out of here. Get him out. Get him out.
Yeah, we lost you. All right, let's go to, while we're waiting, let's go to
I think
Tammy. Go ahead.
Andrew is waiting.
Women
also.
first, Andrew. Women, and then I'll go to Andrew. Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
I already called on it.
Got a frog in my throat.
I wanted to just make a comment on how much I'm being attacked because I won't back down on this. I mean, it's every time I post something about it, and it's 90% men attacking me. Some women, but about 90% men. It's just shocking. I mean, everybody's telling
Shame
me
on you. Shame on you, cucks, for attacking a woman.
oh, they're telling
for
me
taking
I
a
was
position.
never MAGA. I'm MAGA light. Now they got this new thing. They come up with FAGA, fake MAGA. I mean, it's just absolutely. I'm just being attacked left and right. It's crazy.
Wait, hold
and I
on.
wanted to point
Faggots a little
that
funny
out.
though. Not about you, but it is a little bit funny. Just that term. Okay. Okay.
I just wanted to point that out. I just find it
That
shocking.
is kind of funny, honestly. But I mean, mean as hell, but funny.
I can't believe I just saw Mario Nafal post FBI could look.
Wow. Well, you're gonna have these loyalists. That's the problem. And they don't care. You're gonna have loyalists, and they're gonna repeat the talking narrative all day long. It don't matter who it is. Look, I love Trump too, man, but you promised, dude. So do what you promised.
He didn't even have a challenger last go around. He's walking in with $1.7 million, I think, at least right now already. He's raised record amounts just in the past quarter. Like everything Thomas Massey is doing, he is on par to have another blowout election. The establishment can come after him all they want to. It's going to make him stronger. There's no one out there that's going to take back their previous endorsement of Thomas Massey. He hasn't lost any endorsements. There's nobody in the local community in the Rust Belt that's turning on
I'm about
him.
to get off
He
here
is
and
going
start
to be
gaming,
attacked.
guys. It's about that time. Got to get that Marvel Rivals in.
And it'll be glaringly obvious to the people in that district who do not like that behavior that they need to stay with Massey. So if there's anybody out there that really thinks that Thomas Massey's going to lose and you want to put your money where your mouth is, hey, I'm open to it, Charlie, and anyone else for that matter. If you're so dead set that, you know,
Thomas Massey is
some
great.
super PAC full of a
Honestly,
bunch
he's
of
the
rhinos and their
most
rhino friends,
constitutional
even if some of them, you know,
governor we
helped
have
Trump
out
on the Trump campaign, if you
Senator,
think somehow
whatever he is. I
that's
think
a
governor.
special bullet to somehow take out Thomas Massey, you're wrong, man. Thomas Massey is not going anywhere. The only person that's going to remove Thomas Massey from that office is
It's
Thomas
Thomas
Massey.
Massey, yeah.
And he'll step down and somebody will come in a special election and it'll be a similar situation and the establishment will try to do it all over again, just like they tried to do to Thomas in 2012. But I don't think people really understand Kentucky's 4th District. This is something very unique in America, and it's not going to be a bunch of foreign outside money coming in convincing those people who, if
Right.
you look at the results, Thomas
They already
blows
tried it.
the
It didn't work.
competition away
So
in a
that's
way
that.
that other people don't in their districts. So the history speaks for itself of Thomas Massey's campaign and the lack of opponents that he's had. There's reasons why people don't waste their time and their money running in Kentucky's 4th District, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're going to go waste money and set money on fire, you know, you're crazy. You're better off spending that money other places trying to flip blue seats to red. But instead, y'all are going to set millions of dollars on fire in a primary that means absolutely nothing. and it's going to just complete. All you're going to do is make a bunch of consultants really rich. So Chris LaCivita and his friends, I guess, will make lots of money. They'll take all this money and go set it on fire. That's the only thing that's going to happen. I'm here to watch it all and laugh in the background.
I don't want to turn this into a campaign space. We're talking about Epstein.
No, that's fine. The reason I brought it up is because people were attacking Massey, obviously, because Massey was in your space talking Epstein, and they didn't like it. And
yeah, well, they didn't attack him here.
Well, by the way, I heard two different stories. I missed part of the
I would have attacked him if I made it on in time. I would have attacked him. I missed it just by a few minutes.
Well, I heard two different stories. I heard that Thomas Massey insinuated that the Israelis had something to do with Epstein, and then I heard from somebody else that no,
yeah,
we
he
didn't.
He said Mossad, but he didn't say conclusively. He just said it was likely or a possibility.
A possibility.
That's one reason
yeah.
I would have attacked him. Yeah.
Well, lots of things are possible. I mean, what's the possibility? I mean, there's always a possibility. For a lot.
He
of
didn't
things
say
to be
definitively.
Yeah, well then there you go. So, because I heard a lot of one-way speech too. Thomas Massey definitely said this. Oh my God! And I'm not. I know Thomas Massey pretty well, and I didn't think he would say that. So thank you for clearing that up. Anyways, good space, Diligent. Thanks for having me.
Listen, Tom, you make you make some good. Can I just reply really quick? You make some good points for sure.
No, we're not going to keep talking about. We're not going to keep talking about the election. We're going to talk about Epstein. Thank you very much.
My bad, guys. My bad. Where's that? Now, damn it. There it is.
There to be a change from him. And the only thing I can think is, okay, he wants certain things out of certain people. He's got these files that show what they're about, and he's going to get things out of them. And I'm all happy for people to go.
Wait, are you implying that Trump is going to use these files to blackmail people?
Yes.
Interesting. I thought that they weren't blackmail files. Okay, continue.
Yeah, in any event, I do think that some of the way this stuff has been handled has made him look bad, and I lay that at the feet of Pam Bondi. When she was first announced, I didn't like it. When Gates was kicked out, I didn't like it. And honestly, one thing that we haven't got out of this administration is any prosecutions, not only the Epstein list or any of the clients, but all of the Russiagate people, Peter Strzok, Andrew Weissman, all of the people that prosecuted the president for the last 5 years, none of these people are facing prosecutions. They should be having their doors kicked in, and Pam Bondi has done absolutely nothing. So if all of MAGA jumping up and down and getting furious at the president results in her getting fired, then it's a massive win. And I'm going to take the president
What has she not done?
I just told you, there have been no prosecutions of anybody from Russiagate. All these people that total
Has there
traitors.
been prosecutions in general?
That's what I'm saying. There's been zero
So there was a
prosecutions.
judge in New Mexico that was arrested for affiliating with Tren de Agua almost within the first month of her being appointed. Did you know
Yeah, that's all wonderful, but I'm talking about the political lawfare that we faced as Republicans, that Trump faced, that all of his supporters faced. Roger Stone had his door kicked in. We haven't seen anything like that facing Peter Strzok, Andrew Weissman, anybody involved with Russiagate, anybody involved with the deep state at all.
You're saying you want revenge?
I want justice. These people are actual traitors to America. Comey, Brennan. Comey just posted an assassination threat, 2 months ago, telling people to go kill Trump? That's illegal. And nothing happened. He got a talking to from the Secret Service.
You can't prosecute for that. You can't prosecute for that.
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can.
You can allude to things. I'm a free speech absolute.
Yeah, you can't prosecute for that.
You can prosecute any.
We're not going to get into the semantics of free speech, but if there was something that you could prosecute, if there's something that you could prosecute, you definitely could. But again, you didn't answer my question.
Total horseshit.
Right?
You can prosecute anybody for anything. Whether you get a conviction is a different story.
So
no, it's unethical to prosecute someone if you don't think you get a conviction.
Yes, I want lawfare.
So okay, well that's not even a sensical argument,
Right,
right?
that's because that's not.
We don't commit lawfare. We don't,
Why not?
miscarriage of justice.
Why not? That's foolish.
Well, man, I want
Total foolishness.
lawfare.
Oh,
No.
well, I
No,
mean,
it's
we're not
not.
having a good faith conversation here then.
Yes, we are. How do you wield political power?
So-
You just let your opponents do whatever they want when they're in power, and then when you're in power,
Yeah,
you
but that's
take the
just
knee.
becoming
Like,
them.
oh no,
You hold
we can't
people-
do
you
that.
hold
We can't do
you
it.
hold people accountable for their crimes,
right?
Including
Yeah, Comey and
the
Brett.
implied. Stop talking over me. I'm just gonna drop you down. I'm the host, bro. Mute your mic. Thank you. So we hold people
Yeah.
accountable,
Dude's
including
gangster.
the
He don't play no shit.
people who are involved
That's
with
funny.
over the 1,000 victims in the Jeffrey Epstein case. The children, over 1,000 children that we know Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein didn't brutalize by themselves. We hold
Right.
those people accountable
Yeah.
because if those people are being
Yeah.
protected from corrupt elements within our government, what other corruption are those elements involved in? We have no idea, do we? And we never will know until there's accountability. Also, the fact that these pedophiles, and that's what they are, pedophiles, are continuing to brutalize children because pedophiles don't stop unless you stop them. And if we don't stop them, if we don't hold them accountable, they will continue to victimize like they are. Thank you very much. Let's have Chaotic. Go ahead, Chaotic.
Comey and Brennan are guilty of crimes. I don't know why you're so upset about Epstein, but you're good with Comey and Brennan getting off the
I
hook.
didn't
Very
say I was
weird.
good with anything. I didn't say I was good with anything. You're making that assertion. You're trying to manipulate the narrative there, right? Where, oh, you can't be mad about this.
You're the
and
one
not be mad
manipulating.
about that.
You're the.
You can't be mad about this and not about that. You can't. You can't. I can be mad about whatever I choose to be mad about. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. This has been on the record happening since 2007 in Florida, where he got a sweetheart plea deal by the government under Bush, not
Yeah.
under Obama,
Right.
not under Biden, under Bush. This
Yep.
guy was covered by the government through the DOJ.
For a
They
reason.
stepped in, they gave him a non-prosecutorial agreement. This is on
Yep.
the record, court record, where the government stepped in and they covered for unknown number of unnamed co-conspirators. I demand justice against those individuals first.
Yep.
They've been at it the longest. They're the deepest within our government. They are the ones you're naming are the ones we know about. Those are the low-hanging fruit. We know what they did. I
Yeah.
want the ones
You can
that
come
you
back for
don't
them
want to talk about.
anytime.
Now I'm going to go to Chaotic, and if you come off your mic and interrupt me, I'm going to drop you down. Let's go to Chaotic. Thank you.
I didn't tell you can't be mad. You lied.
He dropped his ass quick. Well, that's what spaces are for, but at the same time, this is kind of bullshit. That dude, he's just attacking the host. The host is clear about what he's saying. He's not saying, I'm not mad about Brennan and all them.
It's not, and I can tell you why it's not. Jeffrey Epstein definitely didn't do all this by himself. You guys, he can't be in all of these places at once at the same
Right.
time handling all these girls by himself. He operated his environment the
I'm going to
same
make a
way
cup of
a
coffee, you
mob
guys,
boss
so hold on.
would. There were underbosses that were in different locations around the country, around the world, that were affiliated with Ivy League institutions, all women's colleges, all different preparatory schools. He had an office at Harvard, he had an office at MIT. I mean, guys, there's so many ties to this that indicate that there was an intelligence aspect to it that I think it's important to point out that the list has already existed in fragments in different places associated with different cases. I don't want to put it in the jumbotron and get slapped again, but I actually just posted a thread that highlights the different cases that included partial lists. If you guys are genuinely this mad about it, just like I am, we can find the client list. We don't need the White House to do it. Some of these things are super easily cross-referenced. How many hedge fund managers have a museum named after them in New York, guys? It's not that many. A lot of arrest records are public information and they're associated with these other cases. We just got to piece it together. We don't need them to figure out who was on the list.
I still need the government to hold them accountable by putting them through a court of law.
I don't disagree. I don't. That's the ultimate goal here, right? For everybody, we all want to see these guys hang. Is that really what I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not saying, I'm not speaking of any kind of violence? I'm just
Oh,
so
I'm
okay
not.
with that.
I'm repeating what I've seen other
Figuratively
elected.
speaking, figuratively speaking.
We can say figuratively. I've seen other elected
You're saying
officials
after a fair
saying it.
trial, of course, after a fair trial. Yeah,
After
thank
a fair trial,
you. Yes.
I
guys.
said court of law. Come on.
I like the old-fashioned methods, but I think it's
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to Hannah. Go ahead, Hannah, and I'm going to wrap up the space, you guys. There's a link up in the Jumbotron for my subscriber only after space. Tomorrow, since Massey came in and we kind of got derailed by all the news, tomorrow we deep dive into the Trump administration's connections to Epstein, Howard Lutnick specifically, and a couple of other people who are currently in the administration that have direct ties to Epstein. I want to examine those relationships, so be ready for that. And also, I'm waiting for a response, but it looks like we may have an Epstein survivor come into the space tomorrow night. So, and I will be very careful about who I have on stage when she's here, and we're gonna treat her with the utmost respect. And if there's anybody attacking her, they will immediately get blocked and never be unblocked by me. So I just want to let you guys know that. All right, go ahead, Hannah.
Hi, Diligent. Thank you. Um, just a question. It seems that you outlined three primary goals of what you would not just like to see, but you demand from the administration. So I'm curious how that translates into victory. And interestingly, that seems to dovetail into what the last speaker was alluding to. So just very curious how you, again, translate that into victory, or how in my line of work, we would define that as the primary objective. Thank you.
Yeah, accountability with a day in court for those who are. I'll just quote Alina Habba, who was at the time Trump's top general counsel, White House counsel, but now is the New York Attorney General, New Jersey. I'm sorry, apologies. She is the New Jersey Attorney General for the federal government. She said, and I'm quoting here: the accountability for the individuals who have been kept hidden and secret for so long that they may have their day in court. That is the ultimate goal.
Thank you. May I ask one clarifying question?
Sure.
So you would see at your vision of that is to see at different levels, so at state, or do you see this being handled at the federal level only, that they, at all of these offenders,
Sorry, guys, I'm making
innocent until
coffee,
proven
so hope you're
guilty, that it
enjoying
would
the
be
space
handled
so
at the
far.
federal level, and that they would all be processed
It's a pretty good
within the
conversation,
federal court
honestly.
system?
If it's
I'm
if I'm
surprised. Usually these things kind of go
if
sideways
I'm
quick,
like
but
I'm
this
only
guy's
speculating
keeping
here,
it.
but
He's
I think
keeping
the
it on the up and
majority of
up.
the
I
evidence
like
is
this
held
guy.
by the federal apparatus, right? So wouldn't it, and their jurisdiction being that the cases span across state lines from Florida to New York, it's in their jurisdiction. So I don't think, what I would prefer is irrelevant because of the statute. I think that they have jurisdiction over the case, especially since they've already tried and convicted one of the co-conspirators, Ghislaine Maxwell.
The reason why I ask is I'm deeply curious, but because of the international implications, and really not setting aside, not diminishing um, the passion behind it, is from a movement perspective, from a outcome perspective, is what does victory look like, and what is the ask?
Yeah, it's
And
clear. It's been clearly outlined with the Trump administration, and all I'm doing is merely it's demanding them to deliver on the promises that were made post inauguration on numerous different occasions by different mouthpieces of the administration, i.e., Alina Habba, i.e., Pam Bondi, i.e., even Kash Patel and Dan Bongino to a lesser extent.
yeah, I'll just say this. The reason I asked the question is because if it's to release files, if it's to do this, that, and the other, given that many of these people, if one takes as
Yeah.
just a statement of truth that they are traveling internationally, if it's merely to release information as a point of just sort of disclosing as a reputational blight on them, then if that's the ask, if that's the victory, then there's that. If it is from a prosecutorial
That's never been my
perspective,
stated mission.
okay, I appreciate that clarification. If that's the case, then it would need to ramp up sort of the engine of various countries to prosecute them. And that's where my point of clarification to ask,
Right.
what is your goal?
Absolutely. My goal is to hold the people in house accountable, and until
Right.
I think it's impossible to seek accountability beyond that until you have that measured, right? Because
Yeah.
you need to know the motivations and the interconnected relationships between these individuals and any international implications or relationships they might have with individuals that have international implications. However, since he operated in France, I would say that it's already implied that there is international implications, and that's beyond my pay grade. All I know is that it appears to be a network of very influential figures who have done a very good job of keeping this under wraps for the better part of 3 decades, and we need accountability because of the heinous nature of the crime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Charlie, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to guess,
Wow.
bring
This
everything
is actually
that I've
going
said
on a
here
lot longer than I
heretofore because
thought.
I was sort of on one.
This is pretty crazy. Honestly, Trump opened up a can of worms, bro. Straight up. He should have kept his mouth shut.
Since day one. This has been communicated horribly. Whether you agree with my argument that they're telling more or less the truth about what's there and what's not there, or you have the argument that they're hiding something, or whatever, either way, there's no reason you can't criticize the administration for just kind of saying, we're not talking about it anymore, and we promised this, but we didn't deliver this. That deserves abundant criticism. As I said, in my view, this is a subjective value judgment, their biggest sin, in terms of what I know so far, is that they rabble-roused. You've heard that term, rabble-rousing. They roused the rabble, okay? No offense intended. Rabble could be anybody. They roused the people. They roused their supporters to believe one thing. Maybe they themselves believed one thing, and they didn't have the goods to back it up. And now they're mortified. They're embarrassed. They're whatever. They have a disappointed section of their base, which is like, what the F, right? And in terms of what they promised before the election, before they got into office, that's deserving.
After the election.
Say again?
It was after the election.
Yeah,
It was
before and
inauguration.
after the election. So at the very least, if I'm right about that they're telling the truth about what's there and what's not there, at the very least, they owe the American public 1 day of lengthy, open-ended press conferences with Bondi, or at the very least, Patel, Bongino, lead investigator, whoever was looking into it for them internally, and to sit there for 2-3 hours and answer questions from lefty media, righty media, independent media, whatever, and say, here's what we know, here's as many documents as we can release, and if we can't release document A or B, here's why. Here's specifically why we cannot release document A and B, and explain it in great detail. It would be good for them politically to do so, especially if they're going to keep the line that they're keeping, and it would be the right thing to do ethically. Now, so that's part of it. So I totally agree on that. It's been just retardedly, but I think it's the reason why I'm not skeptical of some other people is it's par for the course with Trump in terms of the fact that he's a stubborn motherfucker. Okay, when he gets his mind in something that something matters or he was right, whether we agree with him or not, he's the kind of guy, he really doesn't give an F. He'll be like, no, he'll be like, you're wrong. He is, like somebody mentioned earlier, he's like a parent talking to children. That's the way, I think that's the way genuinely he feels right now. He's like, what the fuck? I just bombed Iran.
Yeah.
I'm doing tariffs on a million different countries. I'm closing legal immigration.
I guess he forgot that he works for the American people.
No, he didn't forget, but he doesn't work for you individually or me individually. He worked for the collective American people, which means some American people are always going to agree with him.
That's how I described it. I didn't say that he worked for me. I said he worked
Right,
for
but I'm saying people kind of confuse the two in the way they apply, because just because he works, or him or anyone else, I'm not picking on him, just because he works for the American people doesn't mean he works for Diligence or Charlie's or anyone else's individual.
Applied it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So moving on to my final thing. I think you unintentionally, there was a connection between what Andrew was saying earlier that you chastised him for correctly. You correctly chastised him for, and what you were saying, which is that both of you guys, in my opinion, this is again subjective, both of you guys are doing, from a different perspective, doing the thing where you want to be right subconsciously. I'm not saying this is like some nefarious thing. You want to be right more than you want the truth. And I think our goal should be to convince ourselves what we want is the truth, even if the truth is directly opposed to what we assumed would happen beforehand.
You are. That's a presumption of yours, speculation.
Yes, it's a presumption of mine. It is a presumption of mine. And again, I'm not saying it's in bad faith. I don't think it's in bad faith. I think it's people get caught up in something.
My observation and my analysis of the evidence supports my position, and I think.
Okay,
also,
so let me explain. He wanted Comey and stuff to be prosecuted, and you rightly gave him shit to say, no, you can't prosecute Comey even if he's an asshole just because he said something that's.
You have to have a body of evidence and that supports your prosecution.
Correct. And it's that doing the right thing from a justice point of view, from the government following the law point of view, is even more important.
I didn't say that he shouldn't be prosecuted either.
I mean, me neither. Exactly.
You don't just do it because the mob demands it.
Right.
You do it because
it has
you
to
have
be strictly
evidence that supports
exactly.
by the law.
Exactly. We're on the same page. So, but I think you're unintentionally doing the same thing. We're saying, I want
Except
this
for
fucking
there
list.
is a body of evidence and a convicted felon that
Right.
support my position.
Hold on, but there is no body of evidence, and show it to me, put it in the nets. There is no body of evidence that says there is a client list. There is no body of evidence
There
that
is
says.
a non-process. I don't want to, so I'm not going to keep having this argument. There's a I would just like everybody here that's listening right now, my audience. I would like you to look up the non-prosecutorial agreement between Acosta and Epstein, and see if there are an unknown number of unnamed co-conspirators.
Which
that's a clause that was inserted into that radical plea deal given to Jeffrey Epstein in 2007 when he was caught trafficking teenage minor girls alongside 4 adult female women who were helping him. Those were the named co-conspirators. Alongside those 4 named co-conspirators, there was also a number of unknown amount of co-conspirators that were granted immunity from future prosecution in association with Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking at the time. Okay, which doesn't know a statute of limitations. So that's what he's referencing. I do have to go, so I want to thank you, Charlie. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to be hosting a Spaces on this until we get the answers that we seek. Tomorrow we'll be doing a deep dive into the Trump administration's, particularly Howard Lutnick and some of the other figures like attorneys that work for Trump.
That was very
and
nice.
why is there
enjoyed
so many
that.
people connected to the current administration that were also involved with Jeffrey Epstein, including Acosta himself, who is the one that I referenced just a little while ago. Thank you for coming, you guys. And Grok, take us out. Bear with me. There we go. Grok, take us out.
Thank you all for joining us in this X space. Please turn all notifications on for Diligent Denizen, follow our co-hosts, and subscribe to Diligent using the pink button on their profile. If there's a subscriber-only space right after this, check the Jumbotron for the link. You can find recorded spaces in the highlights section on Diligent's profile. Have a blessed day, everyone. We'll see you soon.
The truth is what we're after. Nothing else, nothing less. And we will not accept anything but what we are promised. And we're going to let the chips fall where they may.
Great Spaces, Diligent.
I
Have
hear
a good
you,
night, man.
and I'm ready to help get to the truth.
Okay.
Just hit me with a grok prompt and a...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Spaces. That was Diligence. You can follow him on his Twitter page. He's easy to find. I showed you guys earlier. Wow. Yeah, the Epstein stuff. This is not going away like Trump was hoping. My whole thing on it, I truly believe he got the list or got a partial list or something of the nature, and then he is trying to use that as a, well, as a bargaining chip. That's my thoughts on it. And I don't believe in this 10D chess or anything, but I think it's something normal that you would do if you got your hands on a list like that. And the deep state was after you and trying to hurt you and your family and come after you. I think you would use that and reach a plea with them, and for them to maybe step aside and let you do what you're going to do. I don't know. There's a million questions in my head, but I guess I'm just going based off what I think. It's just my opinion. Either that or maybe some of Trump's closest friends are on there, and for their sake, he's covering it up. That could be another reason. Once again, just my opinion. Well, I gotta get going, guys. Thank you for coming to Pulse Point. This has been another live reaction. We'll be back on tomorrow. Gonna do another podcast, probably a little later at night like this again. And I'll probably be jumping on some Marvel Rivals a little late. We'll see. If not, I'll be on tomorrow. So, thank you guys for coming. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. More Pulse Point, where we check the pulse of the nation. And what a crazy last hour and a half, 2 hours. Thank you guys for coming. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Peace out, guys. And leave comments below, and I'll get to you. We'll have to have this conversation. It's a shame that we have to. He should just release it. Look, we know that they had it for 4 years. We know that they probably meddled with it. And if there isn't a list or isn't any of that, he should have just come out and said it. He brought this upon himself. Because what he could have done is just come out and said, hey, we believe it's been meddled with. We believe something's going on here. And nothing can be trusted that we got from them. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming. Hit that like, hit that sub. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Pulse Point. There'll be more to come. Peace out.